It's VidNotes time. I'm drinking the VidNotes potion, and it's time for the learning target. I will understand the outcomes of World War II. One of the outcomes was putting Nazis on trial. Let's talk about it. Summary of World War II outcomes. First, the outcomes of World War II included a war crimes trial, the division of Europe, plans to rebuild Germany and Japan, and the creation of international peace groups. Europe was destroyed after World War II. Japan was destroyed, especially Hiroshima and Nagasaki. How do you rebuild? 8 outcomes of World War II that we're going to discuss now. Outcome number 1. Number 1, loss of empires by European powers. The example, Germany and Italy lost empires in Africa as a result of World War II. That's one example. That's what you write down. Outcome number 2, the creation of 2 major powers in the world, the US, here in orange, and the Soviet Union, here in green. It was the capitalist America with Uncle Sam as its mascot, and it was the communist Soviet Union with the bear as its mascot. Outcome number 3 was the Nuremberg war crimes trial. The Nuremberg trial was named after the city where the court case took place in southeast Germany, Nuremberg, here it is. And this man was the highest ranking Nazi official put on trial. His name was Hermann Goering. He was found guilty and his sentence was to hang, death penalty by hanging. More about the Nuremberg trials. 22 Nazi leaders were put on trial by an international court. They were accused of crimes against humanity for the Holocaust. 11 were sentenced to death by hanging. And here are all 22 of them seated in the courtroom listening to what the judges are saying. Outcome number 4 was the division of Europe and Germany. Europe was divided, and so was the country of Germany. Germany and Berlin were divided among the 4 allied powers of World War II. Please label the 4 powers on your map of Germany. The British, the French, the Americans, and the Soviets all claimed a part of Germany. And Berlin is the capital of Germany. It was divided in 2 after World War II. Please label Berlin, put a dot on your blank map of Germany and label it Berlin. And West and East Berlin were also divided, as I said, and this is how they were divided. A democratic government was installed in West Germany, democracy in West Germany. West Germany became an economic power after World War II. It was capitalist and it was making money. Let's move east. East Germany was controlled by the Soviet Union. Here is its flag, and it had a communist government. Outcome number 5 was the establishment of the United Nations in October 1945. Here's the logo of the United Nations, and here are the headquarters of the United Nations. Today, they're in New York City. What is the United Nations? It's now the world's largest international peace group with 193 members. And if you go there, the entrance is lined with all of the flags of the member countries. The United States is one of those flags. The United Nations was also created the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. It was a document, it was a lot like the Declaration of Independence, but it was for all human beings everywhere. This declaration, quote, protects inherent dignity and the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family. So it wasn't any one country, it was every single human being on earth deserves certain rights. It provided a code of conduct for the treatment of people by their government so that genocides like the Holocaust would never again happen. Outcome number 6 was the Marshall Plan. It was World War II's peace plan that gave $13 billion to Western European economies to help them rebuild because most of Europe was in rubble. Japan in rubble. The Soviet Union, some of the cities in rubble. Destroyed. Why is it called Marshall Plan? The plan was named after George C. Marshall. Here he is. He's the U.S. General and a Secretary of State. And his plan, his World War II peace plan, the Marshall Plan, won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1953, and that landed him on the cover of Time magazine. Outcome number 7, the formation of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO for short, and the Warsaw Pact. Where were NATO countries? They're in blue here. They're the US, Canada, and Western Europe, and they all were democratic. Where were the Warsaw Pact countries? They all agreed to basically be communist, and they were Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union, all countries in red. What was the Iron Curtain? It was an imaginary line, and here it is in black, that separated West democracies and East communism after World War II. Outcome number 8, the US rebuilds Japan. After we dropped 2 bombs, atomic bombs, on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we helped them. How did US rebuild Japan? The US General Douglas MacArthur, here he is, occupies Japan. He and some military help Emperor Hirohito to rebuild. MacArthur, here he is with his pipe, installs a democratic government and a capitalist economy. The US eliminates Japan's military strength and promises to protect it. And number 4, Japan emerges meaning comes out of World War II as a dominant economy in Asia. Their economy is making a lot of money for their people. And that's it until one research question. Think of one question that you're interested in asking, a question that starts a conversation. Write that down for 2 points, and then you are done with the 8-6 VidNotes. This is Mr. Deegan signing off with the VidNotes potion. Bye-bye.